Protect your car with 3W Liners all-weather floor mats. Made from durable materials like TPE and rubber, our mats are designed to withstand rain, snow, and mud with deep grooves to trap dirt and liquids. For a custom fit and advanced protection, visit 3W Liners. That's the number 3, WLINERS.com today. Calling all Marvel fans, get Marvel Unlimited and unlock over 30,000 comics featuring your favorite heroes and iconic stories, all available to read anytime, anywhere. Plus, for a limited time, use promo code MUHoliday24 and save $50 off your subscription. Whether you're into classic tales or the latest adventures, there's something for everyone. Don't miss out. Head to marvel.com/unlimited today and start your Marvel journey now. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Watcha fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go.
Hey there. Hello. Hi there. Ho there. Hello there. Hi. Hello. Welcome to Bois, King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I am Rusty, still Rusty.
Rusty. How you feeling, man?
Up and down.
Yeah.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
A little sluggish these days, but
Yeah.
I'm still getting it.
Getting a little better though? Like your stamina coming back up?
It's up and down, honestly. Like some days I'm full of energy and I can make it past noon.
Okay,
without feeling sleepy.
Here's the real big question, right? And this is something I haven't asked you since you got sick.
Yeah.
What did you eat that day? Don't tell me where you went, but tell me what you ate.
Oh, I had a number one cheeseburger, just a regular
just a plain old
cheeseburger
thing, right?
with mustard, lettuce, tomatoes, onions,
Bill
pickles.
says you're feeling a little rusty.
Yeah, feeling a little rusty.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little rusty.
Okay, well,
This is my
that's,
lubrication. I'm drinking my lubrication here.
Lubrication.
Well, I'm rusty, right? You got to lubricate if you're rusty.
I get it.
It's just hot tea, but
We
it
forget
keeps
to spray 'em
me.
down.
It's where I derive a lot of my energy from these days.
Hey,
Nice hot tea.
I've got one thing to talk about, guys. And if you don't mind, give me like 2 minutes here. We are part of a network called Rogue Media Network. Rogue Media Network is once a year we do a thing where we shut down the streets here and we do a big battle of the bands, and it's a block party kind of thing. Last year I couldn't even tell you how many thousand people were there, but it was great.
Awesome.
It's a free event to the community. Everybody shows up. It's great. This year we're doing a 2-day thing. First day we're doing the Battle of the Bands, the block party, all that stuff. Second day we're doing something called the Texas Creator Awards. This is something I've wanted to do for quite a while. And we'll have to watch how many of our things get nominated because I don't want it to feel unfair. But I'm going to bring this up on the screen here real quick. This is Texas Creator Awards, guys, and it is at texascreatorawards.com. If you would mind checking it out, I'd really appreciate it. Just you can click on Nominated Creator. Basically what this is for is these are awards for any type of creator in the state of Texas. So if you're in Texas or you know of people who create things in Texas, when I say create things, I mean YouTube, TikTok, I don't know, what else? Instagram.
Just anything.
Almost
Twitch,
anything, right? It's anybody who creates digital stuff, right, or digital entertainment. You can nominate anybody you want right now, and then I believe it's end of January. We'll shut that down, and then we'll start the actual voting. So right now we're in nomination period. Please go nominate. Doesn't cost you a thing. If you've got somebody that you really enjoy watching, maybe us, then you could nominate them. It's just kind of a free-for-all right this minute, but feel like you could nominate anybody you want. Okay, so we got that out of the way. TexasCreatorAwards.com. Today, we are doing Season 7, Episode 3, or in the year of our Lord 6 ABE 19. So this is actually from the 6th season.
This is.
Bad girls, bad girls. What you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
This aired November 17, 2002. Connie's delinquent cousin, Tid Pao, wreaks havoc while visiting Arlen. And boy, does she.
Yeah, this is a wild episode, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. Directed by Bu Huan Lim.
Yeah, I had a snippet to say about both of those.
Lim and Clay Hall. I really hope I got those names close.
Both of those people that you mentioned worked on, let's see, Kyung-hee Lim is known for working on Rick and Morty and on Bob's Burgers as well.
Oh, okay.
She's actually a animation timer
That's
for
a good
King of the Hill. Most of her job on King of the Hill has been timing the animation. And
I did not know that, Artie. Artie says that Tid Pao is voiced by Lucy Liu. I did not.
Yeah, Tid Pao is voiced by
that.
Lucy Liu.
Yeah,
and then
that makes sense. She says like 9 words in the whole thing.
Bu Wan Lim worked on Bob's Burgers and The Max. I don't know what The Max is. Do you know what that is?
The Max, is it with like 2 X's, 3 X's, that kind of thing?
1995-ish, yeah.
It was a comic book to begin with. It's like this big purple guy. I can't remember exactly what it's about, but I do remember it. I think it was a Dark Horse comic.
Him and Young-hee Lim actually were nominated for a 2000 Annie Award for Outstanding Individual Achievement for directing in an animated television production for the episode Won't You Pie My Neighbor?
Won't you pie my neighbor?
P-I-M-A-I, P-my or P-me, or how you say that, however that's pronounced. I probably butchered that. Apologize.
We butchered all the names, but we're trying. Well,
I know the K is silent. It's like Young-hee Lim. And then
Young-hee Lim.
And then I know.
And Lay Hall.
H
or is that Clay Hall?
Probably Lay Hall. Lay Hall. Yeah.
He said the K is silent, so it's just Lay Hall.
Well, in the, I think that's Korean.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start this. Let's get out of that mire pit, and let's move over to Arlen, Texas. We start
Arlen,
over
Texas.
In the alley with all 4 of them. That would be Bill, Dale, Boomhauer, and Hank, and they're all kind of just staring at something, talking to each other about it. Bill says, Q bag? Dale says, Q bod? Boom says, no, man, look like that dang old bogbo. I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I'm not sure what they're talking.
But all right.
Any of them are talking about. Yeah.
Hank says, "I'm not even going to give this animal the satisfaction of trying to read it. That's just what he wants." Then you get Bill. One day you're living in a paradise. Next day it's a crime-ridden slum. Society's going to hell in a handbasket. I blame the media blamers. I think that's fantastic.
I do think that's fantastic.
That is a very good. That is a very good joke. Then all 4 of them kind of stand up to attention because a car is coming by, so they can cover it up because they don't want them thinking going through a bad neighborhood. Like what was it, Dallas, where he locks his
debutantes.
windows?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're at Tom Landry Middle School. We're in science class with the children's. And the science teacher says, and one more thing, people, K107 is sponsoring this year's science fair, which will now be known as Rock the Science, because you had to rock everything back in the late 90s, early 2000s. The winner gets to present their findings to Easy Ed and the Chicken Boy. So I'm assuming that is a morning show, Easy Ed and the Chicken Boy.
It sounds very morning-ish.
It does.
Like Keith Craddock in the morning.
Welcome to the morning zoo.
Yeah.
All right, bell rings. Joseph turns to Bobby and he says, "Dude, do you want to be my partner for the science fair? I found a dead bird in my backyard. We could probably do something with." He's the grossest kid. Bobby says, "Thanks, Joseph, but I'd like to increase my chances of winning and decrease my chances of working. Hey, Connie, you want to be my science partner?" She says, "Oh, that'd be great. I've got about 50 awesome ideas. Well, 57 if we're allowed to use radium." You're not. You're not allowed to use radium, Mary Curie, however you say that. I'll email them to you tonight. And she packs up and leaves, and as she's leaving, she kind of looks back over her shoulder at him. Of course, Joseph, trying to make everything either sexual or weird, Why are you trying to get back with her? He goes, what? No, I'm not. It's just a science project. It's not like we're playing in a play together. Dude, she might be thinking something else. When she walked out of the room, she looked back at you. I think you've been reading too many of your dad's romance novels. They walk out into the hall, and Joseph says, why else would the smartest girl in class want to work with you? You made sun tea for last year's science project. You then see Connie. She gets her stuff out of her locker. She closes it up. She looks back, and she waves at him. And Bobby looks at her and goes, oh, uh-oh. So he is now thinking that she wants to get back together also. And it's all Joseph's damn fault.
Yeah, it is Joseph's fault.
All right, now
you ever had sun tea?
He made sun tea.
Have you ever had sun tea? Though?
I have had sun tea. Yeah. My mother used to make it. Yeah,
it's a very southern thing. I don't think you could do sun tea in Wisconsin.
Nah, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's UV rays. I would think is what does it mostly.
Is it?
Yeah,
I thought it was the heat.
Artie says Dale reads romance novels.
He probably reads. There was a Western-ish. It's called Long Arm. It was a series of Western novels that had some risque scenes in it. They had it was I guess it was targeted mainly for men. I don't think it wasn't really like a women romance thing,
so.
But it was like a men romance thing. Well, it was like this
Howdy, Long Arm
Western style thing where gun slinging, but every now and again there would be like a brothel with some sex in it. Every book had a little bit of sex in it.
Luke says that sun tea is not common in the Midwest.
Yeah, I didn't think it was.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
it does have a lot to do with the heat.
I think it's the heat because I know that whenever we would make it as kids, it would sit out on the porch.
Yeah,
it'd be 100 degrees outside plus. And you would leave it out there for like 4 or 5 hours.
I never really understood the point of it. I just boil my tea bags and I'm done.
I think it's a
Brokeback Mountain.
Well, I think that.
Yeah, I guess that was Artie.
I think
Pill,
that the thing
Pill
behind
says great grandma made sun tea. Mississippi, she was like 105 when she died. That's it. That's probably what kept her alive.
I think that the sun tea thing is about back in the day. You didn't want to put the stove on.
We didn't want to heat up your house.
You didn't want to heat your house up because it was before central heat and air. So if you're making sun tea, you don't want to turn the stove or the oven on because your whole house would be, hot as hell. So maybe that's what it's for. I don't know.
All right, so we're back at the fence, and all the guys are there. They're in their full painting clothes. They've got like the jumpers on and the whole thing. They've got air compressors. They've got their paint guns. They've got rollers, all this stuff, all this equipment, right? They walk up to the fence. Bill says, damn, Vandal, this will probably take us hours between the joking around and the horseplay. Dale says, and the beer runs. Hank says, look.
You ever had the beer runs?
Have I ever had the beer runs or gone on a beer run?
Either.
Yes.
I'm sure you've done both.
Yes. Let's just say yes. Hank says, look, we're all upset, but this guy hasn't licked me yet. And Bill's like, oh, this is going to be cool. Dale goes, oh, here we go. And then Hank goes, shh, shh, and it's gone. Like it takes like 2 seconds to do the whole damn thing. Bill goes, oh, that was fast. Dale looks at it and says, you missed a spot. He goes, I did? And then Boom goes, no, man, there's a dang old shadow. And they just start putting stuff up. They're done. That's it.
That's it.
It's all over.
All of that for a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, it was nothing.
Well, they're always – the thing is that I appreciate about all four of them is that no matter what the situation is, they can all come together to, solve it. So if it's a broke-down car, they're all four stand. Whether it's for moral support or whatever it is, everybody's always there to fix shit.
They always think it's going to be an adventure when it's
and it ends
takes
up
2
being,
seconds.
it's just a couple spark plugs.
All right, we're back in front of the Hill House. Bobby and Joseph ride up on their bikes. Bobby says, I got to let her down easy. Normally I'd start with a joke, but that's how she fell for me in the first place. Joseph, I might soften the blow. Tell her I've always been into her and that I always stare at her, not because I'm creepy, but because I'm deep. Bobby's like, I'll do what I can. There's another girl there, and he just sees her from the back and thinks that it's Connie. And he goes, hey, partner. The other girl kicks him, knocks him down, and then he looks up, and he's all groggy, and he sees double, and he goes, oh, Connie. And then she steps over him. It's obviously not Connie. It's Tid Pao. We just don't know that yet.
Yeah.
She steps over him, and he's just like, whoa. He might be smitten with this girl that just knocked him down.
Yeah, it's like it's like the
Schmitten.
I don't want to say yin yang kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like Connie is like the
between the
light,
two?
the light
Yeah.
version,
Yeah,
and she's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the darker
Yeah.
version
Yeah, I can
of
see
what
that.
Connie is. Because Connie's real smart, but Tid Pao's kind of smart too. But she's smart
She's street smart.
in a way that she
Yeah.
knows how to cook dope.
Yeah. All right, so then we go into Connie's room. Connie is there on her Blueberry Mac, just typing away.
Yep.
And Bobby comes in and says, I knew you weren't wearing slutty lipstick. She goes, huh? He goes, I just got flipped by this girl who looked kind of like you, but she was dressed like a teenager. She goes, it's Tid Pao, my cousin from L.A. She's sleeping in my room. All you got to do is say L.A. Bobby's in.
Bobby's in.
He's like,
LA.
L.A.? She was so in my face, I thought she was New York,
LA.
but L.A. is even better. Tid Pao comes up behind him, and Tid Pao says, hey, ain't you that fat kid who jumped me? He puts out his hand to shake it and goes, yes, I am, Bobby Hill. She does not shake his hand.
No.
He says, so, Tid Pao, how long are you going to be here on this on the third coast? It's not the third coast. It's Texas. She says, till I ain't. And then she just kind of relaxes on Connie's bed. Connie says, she's here for the rest of the semester. Not that anyone asked me. And while you're here, stop attacking people. This isn't L.A. where anything goes, where it's cool to take me to Knott's Berry Farm and totally ditch me. And then we see a picture of Bobby and Connie together. And Tid Pao says, whoa, sorry, I didn't know I was smacking down your boyfriend. She goes, boyfriend? Well, he goes, I'm not. We're just science partners, nothing more.
Did you just do the Knott's Berry Farm line?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. My brain blanked, I guess, when you said that.
All good. You got a Knott's Berry thing? You ever been to Knott's Berry Farm?
No, I've never been to L.A. California's never been like big on my list of places to go.
I want to say there's a couple of Knott's Berry Farms, but I'm not. Totally
Yeah,
sure.
I'm not really savvy on Knott's Berry Farm. Now, L.A. or that whole coast over there.
Yeah.
The only places that I've really ever wanted to go is like North Cali or Oregon, Washington, but I haven't made it out that far just yet.
I've been to Seattle a couple of times. Been to San Francisco a time or two. Went to San Jose, and then went to some other town, and I can't remember what the town was called, but went there for my stepson and my daughter-in-law's marriage. She's Indian, and so we had like a 3-day wedding there in California.
Yeah.
That was a big deal.
One of the bucket list items is I want to drive from San Diego to Washington. I want to drive the whole. There's like a coastal highway that you can take pretty much the whole way up.
Yeah,
that's one of the bucket lists.
that'd be cool. Tid Pao is just like, whatever, peace. She leaves the room. Bobby says, catch you later. Then he goes over to Connie and says, catch you later is still a cool phrase, isn't it? I mean, have you ever used it? She goes, no. He goes, oh, okay. Whew. So he knows it's not cool, I guess, if Connie doesn't say it. We're back in science class. There's a science teacher talking. He's standing at the front of the class with Tid Pao. He says, everybody, we have a new student, Tid Pao. Now, I know there are a number of ways we can make fun of her name, like Kung Pao or I suppose Tid Poo, but let's have none of that. So
Why would you arm the children?
I don't know.
It's like handing them a loaded insult thing. Like here you go. Here's a few insults that you could use for this person. That's so.
We got a couple
so
of
messed
things
up.
here. Blah, 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 blah. Says one farm in Buena Park. Okay. And I'm assuming that you're talking Knott's Berry Farm. Pill says, I was raised just outside L.A. First time I went to Texas, I was like under 10. I asked my mom why everyone is so nice. Okay.
And then Artie says.
And then Artie, he's talking about Knott's Berry Farm. He says it was great in 1980. He loved it when he went. Loved it better than Disneyland when he was 12. Which, I mean, I get it. It's probably friendlier, I would assume.
Yeah,
it's smaller.
I'm like I said, I'm not even sure what the hell it is.
Do
they sell jam?
No, it's like a it's like a Six Flags basically is what it is.
Oh,
it's
so so in Texas, that is our big amusement thing is Six Flags.
Yeah,
we
Six
had
Flags are big.
3 of them at one point.
Because there were Six
Houston.
Flags over Texas.
Was there one in Houston?
Oh, it was Astro World. Yeah,
it's not there no more.
It
huh?
was a Six Flags Astro World. It's not there anymore. No.
But they have the one in San Antonio still, right?
Yeah, the one in San Antonio, which is Six Flags
Fiesta.
Yeah, Fiesta, Texas.
Fiesta, Texas.
And then
one in Dallas.
Yeah,
Arlington,
it says they
wherever it's
become
at.
not scary farms for Halloween. So see, it's the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, I got you. So if everybody doesn't know,
Arlington, San Antonio, and then there's some outside.
Yeah, there was
of
one
Texas.
in New Orleans, the abandoned one or whatever after Hurricane
That
Katrina.
was
So
fun.
everybody who doesn't know Texas, at one point or another, there's been Six Flags
The go-bots
that have
of
been
Six
over
Flags.
Texas. You have the Spanish flag, the Mexican flag, the French flag, the Confederate flag, and the American flag, and the flag of the Republic of Texas.
That's 6.
So
There
there's
you
your
go.
6 flags. Oh, French. I forgot. Did I say French? Spanish.
That's 7.
Spanish, French, Mexican, Texas flag of its own country, Confederate flag, and the U.S. flag. That's 6. Because
Okay.
we did. I
There
don't
you
understand when or where, but we were under French rule. They have it in Austin actually. So if anybody's ever in Austin, the consulate or whatever they had, the French government of Texas, there's still a building somewhere in Austin. I see a sign, like driving around Austin and stuff, I would see signs for it, but I never drove past it or made a point to dog leg to it. But
There's
yeah,
also a
so.
sign out there by where I live by this company that makes they say they make like the finest in substitute foods or something like that.
What
It's
you mean, like
very like
plant-based foods? Or?
Area 51-y kind of sounding, the way they
Yeah, that
I
sounds
don't
kind of
know.
crazy.
I want to go find out what they do.
Yeah, we got to check that out.
All right, so he says, don't call her Tid Pao. And then he's talking to her in front of the class. He says, so do you enjoy exploring the mysteries of the world of science? And she looks at him and goes, do you? He goes, yes. And then she just walks to her seat. Bobby says, did you see how she turned it around on him? Talking to Joseph. Then the teacher again, okay, Tid Pao will need a partner for the science fair. I assume Joseph is available. Jeez, that's a low blow. Joseph says, I don't want Tid Pao. I want Connie. And he looks at Bobby and says, you want Tid Pao. And Bobby looks back. He sees Connie working like normal. Then he looks back and sees Tid Pao, and she's leaning back in her chair, and she's blowing big bubbles with her bubble gum and stuff, and she just doesn't give a crap. And he goes, oh, that whole family is hot.
Very L.A., yeah.
All right, so we're back in Connie's room. She's on her computer. He's on the bed. She says, we could do something with photosynthesis, but that's not very sexy. And, of course, mitochondrial cell swapping has been done to death. He goes, Connie, I think we should switch partners. She says, what? You asked me to be your partner. Now you're blowing me off? Great, fine. You and Joseph have fun. So what's it going to be? Paper airplanes? How a rock works? She says, actually, I want to work with Tid Pao. She says, but she's just a stuck-up wise ass who wears too much makeup, and the real reason her parents made her leave L.A. is because her grades are slipping. That's right, slipping.
Yeah, slipping.
He says, so she's not book smart. She gets an A in cool. He leaves, and there's Joseph right in the freaking window like a creeper.
Big creeper.
And he goes, hi, science partner. You want to see a dead bird? It's just the creepiest fucking thing.
That is
I wanna
pretty
see a
creepy,
dead
yeah.
bird.
You want to see a dead bird?
All right, Tid Pao's outside. She's leaning up against the fence. She's on a cell phone. She says, man, I hate it here. I just want to come home. And then we see this other girl on the other end of the phone who obviously is in L.A., her friend. I don't know who she is. She says, too soon, Q-Bag. You know what I'm saying? The Olivera street queens are still going off about the kilo you stole. Yo, just stay away, yo. That's a lot of yos.
There's a lot of yos.
Tid Pao says, yeah, maybe I should give back what I took from him.
I never understood yo, or it's etymology.
Same thing as bra now.
Well, it's etymology. Bra comes from bro or brother. Where does yo come from?
Yo comes from
You? Like, yo, you. Hey,
yeah,
you.
something like
yo.
that, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if anybody has any information
Yo,
on the
yeah.
etymology of the word yo.
Yeet.
Yeah.
Yeet? I don't know.
Yeah.
And Tid Pao says, I guess I'll just have to cook it up myself. I got to get a hold of some equipment. Bobby walks up, and on the other end of the phone, you hear, you better be careful, girl. People probably got their eye on you. She says, no sweat. I can con one of these inbred hicks to do my dirty work for me. Of course, Bobby, hi. She says, hold on. Yo, Cleo, that hot dude. Oh, so it's Cleo on the other end. Yo, Cleo, that hot dude from next door is here. Call you back. She does not think he's hot. She doesn't think he's hot. She just wants to use him. He goes, will you be my science fair partner? She goes, science partners, huh? Sounds cool. He goes, all right. I mean, sup. And that is our first commercial break. We will take that, and we will be
Right back.
You got it. Hey there, look at us, we're back.
And we're back.
You came up with the etymology of the word yo.
Yeah, so I went ahead and looked that up while I was on our little slight break there. So the etymology of the word yo actually it comes from Middle English in the 15th century, believe it or not, but it wasn't popularized until the 40s. It was popularized by the Italian-American community in Philadelphia. So it was used a lot in Philadelphia in that time frame, and then it spread throughout Philadelphia, and it spread to the African-American community in Philadelphia, and then it started to appear frequently in hip-hop music, and it has become associated with African-American vernacular English, which is a whole Wikipedia article on its own, and first seen in the title Yo! MTV Raps, which is a popular hip-hop music program in the late 80s, for those that know. So there you go. It started in the 40s with Italian-Americans saying, yo, what's up, brother? And kind of spread throughout. So there you go.
I don't know that I've ever used that correctly. I don't
Yo.
know that I've ever just gone, yo.
Hey, yo.
I don't.
I say, hey, yo. I say that a lot. Hey, yo.
Yeah, I've just never been that guy.
Like trying to get somebody's attention. Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. All right, so we got all the guys looking at the new graffiti on the fence because some new graffiti showed up. Bill's like, see, I was right. It's Q bag. There's a Q, and that's clearly bag. Well, that's a great explanation.
That's a
and
name.
then you hear from Dale, gentlemen, I believe I've solved our graffiti problem. We built a protective razor wire top fence around our existing fence. He's got a big-ass spool of razor wire, which is scary as hell. Hank looks at him and goes, dang it, Dale. That's genius. I mean, you think he's gonna yell at him, but he's like, "Oh yeah, that's what we need to do." And then you hear, "Indeed, I will use this salami to simulate what the stuff will do to a vandal's arm." He starts like banging it against it, and it does nothing. Tries sawing it with it, it does nothing. He goes, "Huh? We need a real arm, Bill." Like, and here's the thing: it doesn't show it, but I have no doubt that Bill just handed him his arm. Like,
I'm
you know,
pretty
just
sure,
here you go, try this. All right, we're at Tom Letty Middle School again. Tom Landry Middle School, for those who are keeping track. We're in front of the lockers. Bobby says, hey, Tid Pao, I've been jamming on some science fair ideas. I got some notions involving goggles and some kind of beaker. Why don't we get together tonight for a brainstorming session, see where it takes us? It's just the two of them. Tid Pao, well, Connie's standing there. She says, don't worry about it. I already got an idea. He goes, awesome. I'll pick you up at 7. They walk off, and Connie looks pissed. She does not look
She's not happy. I feel like there might be a little bit of jealousy, maybe. A little bit of jealousy going on. That Bobby is hers.
She
in her
immediately
mind.
hates Tid Pao, number one. And then number two, yeah, there is jealousy there. I think
Well,
she's always going to be jealous of
she
Bobby.
probably knows the only reason that she's has to live with her is because she was being bad in L.A. and her parents shipped her out to Texas.
It could be.
It's that trope
Her grades
where
are slipping.
I mean, it happens a lot in TV and stuff where the cousin has to live with you because the cousin is being bad wherever they're at, and their parents have shipped them away. You know, West Philadelphia, born and raised. That whole show is about him, you know, cutting up in Philly and getting shipped off to his uncle. So I think this is that type of situation where Tid Pao is obviously stealing.
It's a bad seed.
Stealing kilos of cocaine from drug dealers.
It seems a little worse than the
having
other stuff we've seen.
Yeah, it seems pretty tough.
All right, so we're in the kitchen with Bobby and Luann sitting at the breakfast table. And he says, "Luann, you're the hippest person I know." Wow. I need to take Tid Pao someplace that's not boring. You know, sophisticated but close enough that I can ride my bike. She goes, okay. Oh, you know what's exciting? That place where you bet on which chicken is madder. What the hell is she talking about?
She's talking
Which
about rooster
chicken
fights,
is madder?
which is really funny that she
Oh.
mentions rooster fights because my
Didn't even
dad
think of that.
my dad had a friend that was one of his high school buddies that he reconnected with like 20 years after high school.
Chicken fights.
And funny enough, one of my real close friends in high school used to date this guy's daughter, and we used to go to his house. He lived out in the middle of nowhere in a little town called Watcha, which is off by the drag strip, Prairie Hill. You know what I'm talking about. Everybody else ain't gonna know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But and when I first went to his house, I was like, "Oh, cool, you got chickens," but you go out in his backyard and it's all fighting roosters.
Yikes.
He's got like 20 or 30 roosters for fighting, and he would go because it's legal in Oklahoma. So he would take the roosters and he would train them at home, and then he would take them to Oklahoma to go fight them. But it's funny that they mentioned cockfighting in this because
Fix it, Oklahoma.
I saw less than legal training of chicken fights, and man, that is
where is Luann going to rooster fights?
that is insane. Yeah, that's what. Well, you got to understand, Luann is she's not necessarily hip in the way that Bobby says, but she probably
Well, I mean, I guess
goes to some seedy places.
she found a cult, you know?
Yeah, she's
She
probably
found a
hanging
cult.
out in some seedy places. She likes guys on motorcycles and stuff like that, so
True.
she probably ends up in places that are, a little sketchy.
You want to hear my Buckley?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey.
That's it.
Hey.
Peggy, of course.
I wonder
is-
if Buckley's ghost comes back in the.
Oh God, I would love that.
What if it's Buckley and Luann's ghost?
Oh, they're finally together in heaven.
Yeah,
But
maybe they
then
do
where's
that.
Lucky?
Probably in hell. He's not innocent enough, I feel like, to make it to heaven.
Peggy
Buckley
sits,
was a teenager, so he made it to heaven just because he was, he never made it to an adulthood.
Peggy
but
sets down her coffee because she's always listening. Obviously, I could not help it overhearing, and I cannot help but make some suggestions. Well, yes, you can, and yes, you can. Here's what to do: the Pioneer Women's Museum. What the? What are you talking about?
yeah, that's crazy.
Bobby says, "Mom, I'm looking for cool, not lame. Lame? Well, maybe you think it's lame to spend an evening with costumes and artifacts used by our foremothers. Well, yeah. I think every teenager would think that's
I've
lame.
never heard anybody use the expression foremothers either.
Foremothers. All right, now we're at the mall, and we're at the business called Showbiz Sushi. Now,
Okay.
I have a question for you, and this is probably for you and Artie, because Artie is our. Oh yeah, Luann is the girl in the trailer next door.
Yeah, she
you got
definitely
that
is.
right. So Showbiz Sushi, is this what took place of the Showbiz Deli?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think it's the
Yeah.
same place.
It's probably the same place, yeah.
And
And it's similar. Here they talk about defrosting the
Uh-huh.
salmon and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it's probably a gout-infested building.
but the guy that waits on them in here, he just sounds like Principal Moss.
Yeah.
And then at one point they call him Carl. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I guess the guy's name was Carl. I wonder if he was. I can't really remember, but I wonder if the guy's name was Carl in the other episode. In that episode, but Carl is actually voiced by. Give me just 2 seconds here.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
Uh,
Artie. He said 2 episodes ago he was forced to go to the Mennonites on
Yeah,
a date.
absolutely.
That's true. That's
Oh
true.
yeah, so it is the exact same guy too. So Carl is the owner of Showbiz Sushi.
Uh-huh.
His restaurant was previously the Showbiz Deli. So
Okay.
he did rebrand,
That's
and his
what I thought.
voice is actually Dennis Berkeley, who voices
Principal
Carl Moss.
Yeah, same thing.
I think that's the only voices he does is Carl Moss, and it's funny that both of their names are Carl.
Yeah, they're both named Carl. I just wonder if
And-
the guy can't answer to anything else.
But the funny thing is one is with a C, so it's Carl Moss, the principal, with a C, and then it's Carl Moss, the owner of Showbiz Deli / Showbiz Sushi, with a K. Carl with a K.
So this is Bobby and Tid Pao sitting in the sushi place. He goes, "I bet you thought we were too hick to have sushi in Arlen, and a year ago you would have been right."
Oh, and not to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
that is another voice they would have to recast if they had Carl Moss come back. Rest in peace, Dennis Berkeley, the voice of
Oh, really? He
him,
passed away.
died in 2013.
Huh.
Yeah, he's been
Oh,
been out
didn't know
of town for a while.
She's the waiter comes up, who again is just Principal Moss. I'm telling you. Says salmon's almost defrosted, so it'll be just a second. Your fries are ready though. Fries and sushi. You get this coughing because Tid Pao takes a bite and she goes, "Yo, man, this tuna's from a can."
Now, there's nothing wrong with tuna from a
And then
can.
she throws it at the freaking wall.
You
Like
just
she
have to get the right tuna. See, the problem is people go and get the first tuna they see. You've got to get the albacore. If you get the albacore tuna in a can, that's the best canned tuna, the albacore.
Hey, here's an idea for everybody out there: don't eat fish in a can.
I love tuna. In can.
He goes.
Where do you get actual tuna in?
I don't like tuna.
You don't like tuna?
I don't like tuna.
You don't like
at all.
tuna
No.
steak? Have you ever had
No,
tuna steaks?
No, I don't want it.
Oh, I love
No.
tuna steak.
No,
Are you not a
just-
fish guy?
Tastes and smells like feet. I don't want it. I like some fish, not a lot of fish. I like almost any shellfish.
Okay.
But fish, it's
Crawdads,
got to
all
be
that
like
kinda
a
stuff?
white fish.
You like
know, or something
crawdads and all
like
that too?
Yeah, that's good.
Crawfish?
Yeah, it's just not a lot of food. There's not much there.
There's not. It's a lot of work for.
That's
not
what
a
I'm
lot.
saying. A lot of fish is so much work that I don't.
Shellfish,
I don't care.
shellfish especially. Any
know what's
type
not
of
work?
shellfish is a lot of work.
You know what's not work?
What's that?
Hot dog wieners. They're not work at all.
No, they're
Just
not.
take them out, put them in the thing. Yeah.
Boil them.
They are at
Mash 'em, stick 'em in a
Showbiz
stew.
Sushi. Nothing should come out of a can. That's what Artie says, and I agree with that.
No, I agree with that. It's like HEB or whatever. Our
I do
big
like the
Texas
HEB
grocery
sushi.
store. They have a really
I do like
good
the HEB sushi.
and Sam's too. They have a really good little sushi bar where they do good
Do they?
sushi. Yeah. And
That's weird.
it's always I've never seen a white person doing the sushi. It's always they always have an Asian that's making it. So I feel like it's got to be decent.
So Bobby, seeing her throw this against the wall, says, maybe we should go roller skating. My mother clipped a coupon for me, and she's just like, because she can't believe she's stuck here. She can't believe how uncool everybody is. So immediately we go to the Pioneer Women's Museum. And they are in a wagon, and the sign in front of the wagon says, "Try our buckboard."
Whatever that is.
So it's the wagon, and so they're like bucking up and down in this thing, and Bobby's like, "Oh no, they're after us!" And she's just
it's
like,
a buckboard wagon. I got you. That's the name of the wagon.
yeah, and she's just like, ugh. He goes, "Oh, sorry, this is crap, isn't it?" She goes, "The crappiest." She gets out and starts moving the mannequins around.
Here you go. Just real fast.
She takes one and puts a finger in a cow's nose, and he goes, "Oh, I don't think you're supposed to touch the women." She goes, "Got bugs," and she just thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. Bobby grabs a mannequin. Finally, he gets in on it, and he goes, "I think the cow wants to milk Grandma."
I had to look. I had to look what a buckboard was just for specificity.
Buckley board.
However you say that word, specificity. So it is a four-wheeled wagon of simple construction, meant to be drawn by a horse and or other large animal. It is a distinctly American utility vehicle. There are no springs between the body and the axle. The reason why they call it a buckboard is because the suspension is provided by flexible floorboards of the body and a leaf spring under the seat.
Yeah.
It has no sideboards on the body, leaving the floor quite mobile. In rough terrain, the floor can flex, buck, lending the vehicle its name. So it's called a buckboard because it's the construction style for the suspension is provided by the actual floorboards flexing. And Have you ever ridden on an actual like period correct wagon?
No. Never had a reason to.
Well, I've been to a few like places where they do like
Reenactment
reenactment kind stuff.
Yeah.
And the roughest shit on earth. Thinking that so many people jumped on these types, even the Constanoga wagon, even though it had a suspension system that was more advanced than this, I just could not think of how rough it had to be for people going west.
Oh.
They had to have the worst
Absolutely.
back problems with spine compression and stuff like that from just
They didn't know any better, though. I mean, that was just the way
3
it was,
months of just slamming.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. Sounds like my summer when I was 17. 3 months of slamming.
Yeah. It was invented by Reverend Cyrus Comstock. There you go. It was invented by a preacher. A traveling preacher invented the first one, and it was designed for personal transportation in the Adirondack Mountains in Essex County.
Adirondack. But you gotta remember that they like to flog themselves to put themselves through pain too. So
yeah.
that could be part of it.
So that was how he got around to proselytize his religion.
Yeah, I bet he did proselytize. All right, now we're at Joseph's house. It's Joseph and Connie. They're working on their project, and right behind them, the TV's got some rap videos on it. The only reason I know that is because it looks
MTV
like
raps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
She says, you know what we should do for our project? Find out how boys like Bobby could possibly be interested in some street trash like Tid Pao, which is a little rough. Joseph says, if you're tired, you could crash here. What what are you talking about, Joseph?
Yeah,
you just want her to sleep so you can watch her, or what?
No, he probably would. Probably the kind of guy that would try to kiss her while she's sleeping or something.
Creep.
Wake up with Joseph attached to your lips.
She says, "Oh, Joseph, I don't really want to get into this again." So it's not the first time, right, that he said, "If you want to just sleep here." And then behind her on the TV, the raps get replaced with freaking Dale, who's on some sort of closed-circuit television system here. And he goes, Joseph, don't forget to do the yawn and stretch. And then Joseph tries to do the, where he puts his arm behind the girl or whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes really badly.
Because Connie and Bobby, regardless of what's going on with them right now, they're still.
Well, it's not only that; it's
There's
just
still a
that
little
Joseph's
something.
a creep and a weirdo, and he's just he's very cringeworthy.
There's a flame still there.
All right, so now they're walking in the alley. This is Joseph and Bobby, and Joseph says, "I'm sorry, this is Joseph and Tid Pao." Tid Pao says, "Hey, check this out." She pulls out some spray paint and starts tagging the wall there again, or the fence. He goes, "Oh, you're the one doing that? My dad keeps having to sandblast, restain, and lacquer it off." She goes, "He's the one doing that?" He goes, "You got to understand, he doesn't even approve of bumper stickers," which I can see that.
That's funny.
She says, "Yeah, but you're cooler than that, aren't you?" He goes, "Give me a can." And he starts spraying. He goes, "Check it out, girl. I'm representing." Well, he is anything but cool. All four of the guys show up behind these two. She is just gone, by the way. And Hank is very, very angry. And we get from Bill, Q-bag. We get from Dale, painter. And then Hank finally, "You, inside, now." And he grabs him by the ear. I mean, this is actual mad Hank. You know,
Very
sometimes
mad
you
Hank.
get irate Hank. Sometimes you get irritated Hank. You got actual mad Hank at this point. So we're in the Hill kitchen, and Hank is giving it to Bobby. "Dang it, Bobby, your mother and I took our wedding photos in front of that fence."
I think that's hilarious. I
It
don't know
is
why
very
it's funny.
good. He goes, "Man, I'm just keeping it real, dog. You never make it in L.A." Number one, shut up, Bobby. He goes, "I hope I
Yeah,
never
please
make
be
it
quiet.
to L.A." Peggy, of course, has to say something. "I could make it in L.A. I just have very fair skin. My dermatologist said it would be a death sentence." No, they didn't, Peggy. Nobody's ever said that to you.
Just a little fun fact. We got a lot of etymology in this one because there's so much slang. Dog as like, "What's up, my dog," or whatever. D-A-W-G. The first usage of that word, the earliest known, was by a guy named J.D. Brayshaw in 1898. I don't know
Okay.
what context he used it in, but D-A-W-G.
He said it as he was falling over a dog. All right, so he's inside, and he says, "I hope I never make it to L.A." She says her dermatologist said it'd be a death sentence. Well, then go, Peggy, go. Bobby says, "What's that? I'm sorry, Mom. I couldn't hear you over the crickets and banjos." Okay, Bobby, stop being an ass. Hank says, "Mister, if you think you're in a small town now, you're about to be the mayor of your room for a few months, I'll tell you what." And then Bobby freaking walks out, which that's not – it's funny to me that Hank lets this go. You know, that he lets him keep walking. He goes, "And stay away from that Tid Pao. I don't think I can tell you don't think I can tell the difference between her and Connie, but I can." What? Wow. Okay.
That's kind of funny.
Now we're at Cons, and Cons blessing out Tid Pao. He says, "I swear to your father I keep you out of trouble, and now you get mixed up with Bobby Hill. What is it with you beautiful Asian girls at this stupid redneck boy? Why so self-destructive? Low self-esteem?" Tid Pao says, long distance, you using a calling card?" Oh, I'm sorry. She gets a phone call and says, she gets on the phone, and he says, "Long distance, you using calling card?" "Of course not." And then she's just not even paying attention to Con. And again, Con just goes away also. So he just lets it drop.
Yeah.
She goes, "Yeah, stuff will be ready next week. I just got to sell it and then book back to Cali. I'll bring you a little extra for your birthday." Girl on the phone's like, "Aw." She just told her, "For your birthday, I'll bring you a little extra smack," and the girl on the other end thought it was cute. That's how that exchange just went.
Yeah. Smack, for those of you who don't know, is actually a substitute for the word heroin.
There we go.
So there you go. Little etymology for you.
Now we go over to Bobby in his room. He's got the radio on, and in the radio you hear the guys say, "Clear your calendars, open clock." Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, folks. I have never been a DJ. "Clear your calendars, open cockpit, biplane fans. This weekend is the dedication of Arlen Airfield's new windsock." Damn, I got through it.
That's how you know they're in a really small town, because only a
the
small
windsock.
town would announce. It's not like, here in town, if the airport got a new windsock, it's not like it would be all over the news. We only get I think the only things that come in the news that people are excited about is like restaurants or coffee shops and stuff like
We
that.
get a lot of new like business openings, and
There's a lot of it going on since right now we're in the middle of a growth period.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of businesses opening all the time.
we get a lot of
You're getting a sprouts. I'm pretty excited about that.
kids that are doing things that adults should do. all of that kind of stuff. We had a lot of.
There was a shooting at the club the other night
like
or
if you
something.
put a jacket on a duck, that would be on the news.
And it's really
something.
weird to have because that's not really like a place where a lot of that
Which
stuff
club?
goes on. True Love, they had
Oh,
that
yeah, I
shooting, and
saw
that guy
that, yeah.
they had a GoFundMe going
There
for
was
one
in
of
front of
the workers.
5 over here also. I mean, it's happened within a month. There's been 2 shootings.
You know, I'm surprised that as conservative as this area is,
Yeah.
that they don't push those clubs out of the downtown area.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm surprised that like the business owners in those areas don't lobby whoever the guy is that owns those and leases those buildings out to push the bar scene further out of the downtown area.
Well, I can give you some information on that off air. It's a very small town. Bobby, he looks out the window and he sees Tid Pao putting boxes in the shed. So he crawls out of the window. Of course, he falls out. And then he sneaks over to the shed. He gets in and he sees her setting stuff up. And he goes, "Yo, Tid Pao, my dad said I couldn't see you." And I just said, "Chill, Hank. You don't tell me what." And she goes, "Close the door." And so he closes the door real crap. He closes the door real fast and he goes, "Oh, crap. Did my dad see me? Whoa. Whoa." He's looking and he sees all the beakers and the cook set up, the cook set up.
We're looking at a Breaking Bad type scenario here.
Yeah, way before Breaking Bad. He goes, "My dad said that you're a bad influence, and here you got half our science fair project done. What are we making?" She goes, "It's a candy machine." "Oh, all right. Hard candy, chewy candy, sticky candy, gummy candy." She goes, "Oh, just candy." He says, "Oh, interesting. So what's the filling? Caramel, nougat, nuts, jelly?" I mean, he's got his candy down.
He's ready for it.
She goes, "You ready to help me?" He goes, "Oh, anything, partner." She goes, "Yo, your dad works at a propane place, right?" "Yeah, I'm going to need like 4 tanks." He goes, "Ooh, I don't know. As soon as I ask him, he'll want to know what it's for. And when your name comes up, it's a no-go."
That
She
just
goes,
seems like a lot. 4 tanks. Yeah,
that is a lot. She goes, "Then don't ask him." He goes, "But..." And then she kisses him. His eyes roll back into his head. And he goes, "Sometimes I overthink." And he is on the prowl at this point, right? He's on the prowl to steal some propane from his dad's place.
Which is also makes him an accessory.
Yeah, absolutely makes it an accessory. So now we're in the Hill bedroom because how could you get through an episode and not see Hank and Peggy in bed? Hank says, "Can you believe the sass coming out of his mouth? And now it's on my fence." She goes, "Oh, come on, Hank. He's just trying to impress a girl. Remember how when we were first dating, you used to run up and down the escalators?" He goes, "Yeah, well, at least he was using paint."
The funniest thing to me is
Up
imagining
and down.
a young Hank going up or down the escalator fast,
Well, he's running up and down the escalators
the
but
wrong
he's-
direction.
But he's looking at her and making sure she's watching and all that
Are
stuff.
you watching, Peggy? Watch me do this,
"Oh,
Peggy.
watch me run real fast. These
Yeah.
shoes are so fast."
These are my dancing shoes.
These are my dancing shoes,
Yeah.
and these are my running shoes.
These are my magic shoes. Mama said they'd take me anywhere. Yeah.
All right, but he was impressed that Bobby's using paint. So I
Yeah,
guess
he
that's
was.
good,
He
yeah.
was.
All right, Bobby and Tid Pao are stealing propane now. They are at the propane place, and she goes, "This is your dad's job? This place stinks." He goes, "Yeah, you think it's that bad? You should get a whiff of his overalls." He says, most of his customers pay him in manure." That's not even true at all. That's never been brought up. That is not true. I've never even seen Hank use manure, other than the stuff that he spreads on his lawn. That's about it. She says, "We're going to need 2 more tanks." He goes, "But these were the only little ones outside." She goes, "So get from some inside. You already jacked his keychain. What's the biggie?" He goes, "Oh, okay." So they sneak inside. Bobby is inside kind of sneaking around. By the way, I don't ever see her inside.
No.
And he hears a noise from behind the office door, and he goes, "Ooh," and he has to hide. And by the way, it's Buck. He's there having a poker game, and you hear, "Just gonna grab a soda, fellas." And then he goes out into the coffee fund. They've got a big like coffee can that I guess they all put money into so that they can buy coffee each month and things like that. And of course, he steals the money from there, and then he grabs the soda, and then he heads back into the poker game. Bobby is starting to feel it now because we're getting towards the end of the episode here. So Bobby's starting to starting to learn the lesson.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks up and he sees all the plaques with his dad on it that say that it was that his dad's employee of the month, and so he's starting to feel guilty about this.
He's getting there.
Yeah. Artie says Mr. Strickland's stealing office money. Yep,
Yeah,
that's exactly
obviously.
right.
Well, I don't know if he can
That's
steal it if
exactly
it's his money.
Well, if they're all putting it in for coffee, it's not his.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I see that.
All right, and that is our second break. We'll take that real quick, and we will be
right back. Can't do anything right now. Hardly.
yard work.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back, by the way, and we're talking about yard work.
We're talking about yard work. Well, I got that whole property that we're trying to like develop or whatever, so we can put a house on it. And I can't I've got a lot of trees and stuff I got to clear out and a lot of overgrowth and stuff like that. And
You're
I just
having a hard time with stamina.
I just can't get out there and do it right now. Yeah.
So it's the next morning over at Strickland, and Hank is coming in. Everybody's getting ready for the day, that sort of thing. And Hank's like greeting everybody. Morning, Joe Jack. Morning, Enrique. Morning, darling. He's talking to the propane tank, one of the big propane tanks,
Yep.
and he goes, "Morning, darling." Kind of knocks on it, He doesn't hear it correctly.
It's got an odd sound to it,
sound
like
just right,
like a little hollow. Like
and
if you
so
go
he,
and tap on your propane tank.
So
and
he taps on it again. By the way, only man I know of that would be able to just tap on the tank to tell if it's lower than it was yesterday.
Be Hank
And
Hill.
he goes, "Oh my God!" And then he just yells, "Mr. Strickland, we've been robbed!" And Buck comes out. Buck was just passed out on his desk, by the way. He comes out and he goes, "No, I got all spent on coffee yesterday, honest." So now Hank knows
he was admitting to something that he didn't even. He wasn't even asking about. He wasn't asking about the coffee. He was wondering where the propane went, not the coffee.
All right, now you've got all four guys out in the alley standing there with their normal yip. And Hank is talking, "What the hell is going on in this town? First kids are spray painting fences. Now someone is stealing propane."
You know what I find funny about this part right here is that he says, first kids are now someone, and the someone is the someone that is his son.
Yeah, it's his son.
Yeah.
He goes, "I can understand wanting propane so bad you could steal it, but to actually go through with it, what kind of sicko would do that?" You see Bobby, he's listening from behind the sliding door. And then you hear, "Well, the propane is under my watch, so it's coming out of my pay." And, of course, Bobby feels bad again. This is an ongoing thing. We're starting to learn our lesson. Next, in the meth shed is what I've come to call it. Bobby says, "I was thinking maybe we could sell our first batch of candy and use the money to repay my dad. Also, I was thinking we could call them Bobby Ruths." Tid Pao says, "Forget that. I need you to jacket some cough syrup, to finish our project." He goes, "More stealing?" "Yeah, we got heavy into that in the 6th grade. Kind of played out. Now we're into asking our parents for the money and explaining what it's for." He's trying his best to get out of this. He goes, "Yeah, that's what's cool now." She goes, "Oh, come on, Q-Bob." He goes, "I got $5. We can go buy a bottle of Children's Cherry." She grabs the $5 and goes, "Man, you are so weak." And she just leaves. He kind of shouts after her, "I'll meet you here before the science phys air." It's not helping, Bobby. It's not helping,
Bob. No.
Later at the shed.
You're out of luck on this one.
Later at the shed, Bobby's just kind of pacing up and down, waiting for her to come back. Connie and Joseph come out of Joseph's garage pushing or it might be her garage. I don't know whose garage it is, honestly, by what they say. They're pushing this big machine out of the garage, and Joseph says, "Check out this machine we made. It picks up radio signals." Connie's like, "Ugh, it's an incubator, Joseph. I had the radio on in my room while I was making it." He goes, "So then the music, does it just," she goes, "So, Bobby, where's your cool girlfriend?" Like, Joseph is still thinking that this picks up freaking radio signals. He's an idiot.
He's out of
He's
there.
An idiot. She goes, "So, Bobby, where's your cool girlfriend?" He goes, "Oh, she'll be here." He's watching his watch. He goes, "Don't worry about that." Now you see Peggy taking the trash out, and Bobby runs up and says, "Mom, the science fair is today. I need some cough syrup." She goes, "Are you trying to be sick? Because I will put a thermometer in you before you can sit down." What?
That one's kind of weird.
Well, I guess it's a rectal. He goes, no, I want to go to school and I want to win that science fair. And when I come home, the only thing I'm putting on Dad's fence is a blue ribbon or a Chicken Boy T-shirt. I don't remember what the prizes were. Now we're at a truck stop, and Tid Pao is over there selling drugs to a trucker. This is taking a huge leap all of a sudden. Now we're trafficking.
It gets kind of dark here. Yeah, It's a real jump.
Trucker says, "I'll be honest with you. I'm a little uncomfortable buying such a large quantity of Zoom from a 13-year-old girl. She goes, "Oh, please, mister, could I just get the deposit? I'm late for a Girl Scout meeting." He goes, "Don't you cross me, little girl." So then we're back at the shed. She comes up riding on her bike, and she's talking into a Bluetooth headset, which I thought was kind of progressive for the time that it was there. She's got her Bluetooth headset on. She's talking to the lady on the other end. She goes, "Just made my deal. Be enough to pay back the Olivera Street Queens and fly back to Cali first class. Your punk ass picking me up at the airport?" She goes, "All right." He goes, "Great, thanks." And then she opens the shed, and there's nothing there. It's all gone. And she says a phrase. I've never heard this phrase. She goes, "Oh, this is so lemon." I understand context. Sour? Bad? I guess. Just never heard anybody say that.
Yeah, I've never really heard that either.
Yeah, that's a weird one. All right, so now we're back at Tom Landry Middle School.
Hold on, I got you. This is lemon is can be slang for a number of substances. Methamphetamines, ecstasy, crack, a weak strain of marijuana, but it comes from the phrase defective, imperfect, unsatisfactory, like a lemon car.
Yeah, sure.
So,
by the way, Artie, with the one of the oldest jokes ever, what's the difference between an oral and a rectal thermometer?
The taste.
There it is. Good job. I wish I had a drum.
Taste.
There, you got it. It's a good one though.
Yeah,
so we're back at Tom Landry Middle School. Big old banner up that says "Rock the Science," which is just weird. And so Tid Pao comes in. Bobby's there, already set up. He's getting everything ready to go. She goes, "You brought it here? God, you are one dumbass pig farmer." He goes, "What are you yelling at me for? I'm the one here rocking the science." He goes, "Now, if you're ready to make some candy, hand me that brake fluid." She kind of looks around. She sees a cop. She goes, "Ooh, what's that cop doing here?" She goes, "Oh, that's Mike Soto's dad. He's one of the judges. He was a substitute science teacher last year while he was on suspension from the force," which I don't know what he was on suspension for, but whatever. She goes, "Yo, I got 2 priors." He says, "But if you leave, you won't get any credit." She goes, "It's all yours, man." She just leaves. She is just freaking out of there. He goes, "Fine, more A's for me." Then comes Connie up to the table, and she goes, "I think somebody already did your project." "Oh, yeah, it's right over there. The vending machine." I mean, that's a pretty sick burn.
Yeah.
Think about it. He goes, "Oh, that's the best you've got? Maybe you need to invent a trash-talking machine." He just kind of laughs at his own joke, which is insane.
Yeah.
She sees him setting everything up. It's a bunch of beakers and ammonia and fire. And, I mean, there's everything there that you need to make some good meth, I guess. He goes, ooh, I hope this candy tastes better than it smells. It's got to. It smells like cat pee." She looks for a second. She goes, "Ammonia, cough syrup, drain cleaner? Bobby, you're not making candy." She goes, "Didn't you watch that MTV special with Andy Dick? You're making methamphetamine, crystal meth, ice, crank." He goes, "What? Big deal. I made a crank machine. I'll just change the sign to how a crank is made." He goes, "Now quit blocking me from the judges." She goes, "Bobby, it's drugs, the kind you go to jail for."
I actually have a story for cooking methamphetamines. So my best friend, his neighbor's barn burnt completely to the ground, and they were trying to blame it on us for being teenagers out there just hanging out in their barn doing stuff because we were friends with their kids. So they were all mad at us, and they were mad at everything. And then it comes out my friend's sister threw this massive party, and she ended up going to jail that night because she was 17. So they took her to jail and for providing alcohol to minors.
Yeah.
That's what she went to jail for. While she was in jail, there was a homeless woman that she was talking to. The homeless woman was the woman who burnt the barn down.
Oh, wow.
She was cooking dope. The thing with methamphetamines is there's so many different ways to do it, like the ammonia and everything, and then there's like one where you use like lithium out of car battery, like batteries and stuff like that. But the woman was doing a quick batch method of making it and burnt this whole barn down. Not only did she burn the barn down, there was like a classic pickup truck in the barn that got burnt up, and like a bunch of other stuff that happened when we were teenagers in high school.
Those things that happen out there.
Yeah. We were teenagers in high school when it happened, and it burnt down. This barn had been there since the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
It was an old barn. It was really big barn too, so it had like a sloped roof, and at the very bottom of the roof was only probably like 4 feet off the ground. So what we would do is we would climb up to the top of that barn roof and put down like a burlap sack or a trash can lid or whatever, and we would slide off of it and launch off the roof. Yeah.
Made it into a super slide.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So he goes, oh, my God, I swear I didn't know. She set me up. I'm just a clod-hopping pig farmer who was too dumb to listen. He goes, you were so right about her. She goes, yep. He says, Connie, please think. You got to help me. She goes, hey, you wanted excitement? You got it. And she just walks off. He sees the cop, going around judging some stuff. And he goes, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And he's trying to rub his name off of the glass beakers and stuff. He doesn't want to get caught here. Clark Peters shows up and starts talking to the cop. The compression generated by the air pump can launch the potato with enough force to go through a man's skull at 100 yards. I mean, it makes total sense that Clark Peters made a potato
gun. Yeah. Those are fun.
Then the science teacher comes up to Bobby and goes, Candy, Bobby, this is a refreshing change from Emily's Can Mice Swim project. Turns out they can, but not for long. Let me try a piece. I love how that's just a throwaway.
Yeah.
Turns out they can, but not for long. He goes, let me try a piece. He goes, oh, no. The experiment is a failure. I'll take the F, sir. He goes, oh, it's like rock candy. You know who has a sweet tooth? Officer Soto. So he pulls out a piece with tongs. And he goes, Chad, and then the cop comes over and looks at it. Bobby's really trying to get out of this. He's like, no, you can't. It's bad. It's too sweet. You'll get diarrhea. I sneezed in it. And then right as that happens, something explodes on the table.
Yep.
And so the entire thing is busted up, or most of it is busted up. And then it kind of clears, and you see Connie standing over there with the potato gun on her shoulder. She loads and shoots again. And the cop is like, what the heck is wrong with you? She goes, it was an accident. Prove it wasn't, yo. And then she just walks away, like drop the mic kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Bobby gets out of it, I guess. Now, here's the thing. There's a couple of things left that we didn't take care of.
Yeah.
Number one, Bobby stole propane. Number two, isn't he supposed to be, like, under house arrest or whatever? I mean, there's no wrap up to the parental part of this.
Oh yeah, like he's in trouble for whatever. Yeah, I didn't really get that either.
Yeah, there's zero wrap up to that. But
they don't really discuss like the punishment phase.
Yeah. The next thing we see, we're on an actual farm, and it is cold as hell, and the wind is blowing, and you just hear this cowboy guy say, "I'm the last uncle you got. You screw up here, we ship you back to Grandma in Laos." And it shows Tid Pao, and she is literally shoveling manure.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing for me about the meth thing and her shooting a potato gun at it. Those things are super volatile. All the chemicals being used,
Sure.
the heat being used.
Yeah.
I imagine that the explosion would
have
have
been an
probably
explosion.
cleared the gymnasium out,
Yeah.
and probably killed a few
Well,
people
it's
in
a
the
biohazard.
process.
It's a biohazard,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
that's
pretty bad thing.
So the next thing we see to kind of wrap this whole thing up, they're at Showbiz Sushi. It's Bobby, Peg, and Hank. The waiter comes up and says, the yellowtail smells a little funny, but it all smells kind of funny to me. Okay, Carl, I know who you are. Bobby says, well, you look at us chilling in a hip new sushi place right here in Arlen. Who needs L.A.? Hank holds up a piece of chicken and goes, oh, so this is chicken tempura, huh? It's pretty good. And then Peggy's like, try it with the gravy, Hank. It's good. And then you hear the waiter say, domo arigato, and that is it. I did not like that ending. I'm just telling you that right now. I didn't like that ending. And it's simply because there is no resolution there whatsoever.
No, they don't really explain. They don't explain the farm part. They don't explain
it's
who.
It's a good episode, but
it's
the ending
obviously,
is rushed.
Yeah, it's obviously one of Khan's brothers.
Yes, that's what Artie said.
But they don't really. That's what Artie said. They don't really explain Khan's brother. They don't explain that. They don't explain how she got sent.
I just want to see what
there's
happened
really no
to
resolution.
Bobby. I want to see what kind of trouble he got into.
Yeah, it might have been one of those things. I'll take it to my grave.
You hear the credits, and then at the very end, he says, "I'm just keeping it real, dog," and that's it.
At WGBH,
Season 7. Episode 3, Bad Girls.
Which is actually, I meant to mention this at the beginning, but this is episode number
5,642.
Oh, hold on here. 129
of
King of the Hill.
It's
like our 300 plus, but this is 129 of King of the Hill.
All right, folks. Thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it. That was Season 7, Episode 3, or 6 ABE 19, Bad Girls. What You Gonna Do? It aired November 17, 2002 to begin with. Let me mention this one more time, if you don't mind. I would like to, I thought I could. Maybe I can't. Oh, there we go. Texas Creator Awards. If you don't mind, go to TexasCreatorAwards.com and nominate your favorite creator today. Facebook, Twitter /X, Instagram, wherever people create. If they're from Texas and they create digital entertainment, please nominate them.
Yeah,
Nomination process will be open through the end of January. After that, we'll turn it into voting. And then March 2nd, live streaming and live here in town, we will have the first annual Texas Creator Awards live on stage. And I got a lot of really cool stuff planned for that. We've got some live performances. We've got.
Are we doing something live?
We got some music. We've got all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah, and Rusty will be presenting an award. He just doesn't know that yet.
Oh wow, okay.
So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
If you get a
about
chance,
that.
please check that out. Also, we have a Patreon that's been running. It's $3 a month. If you can help us out, we'd really appreciate it. Help us turn the lights on and keep them on.
Where are you guys hosting that at? Is it going to be at the Hippodrome?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's at the Hippodrome.
So for those of you that don't know what the Hippodrome is, it is the premier theater in Waco here, and it's been around since the early 1900s.
100 plus years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big theater. They redid it all to have actual movie theaters in it as well. And I think at one point they had like 5 screens.
That I missed that. You know, that was my favorite experience to go watch movies. I would rather go watch movies there because you hit that little button and they bring you everything and you don't have to get up. I really enjoyed the experience.
Wasn't great,
but it wasn't great.
Then,
but is food great at most movie theaters?
Not really. But then COVID hit and the ice apocalypse hit us here and
killed their business bad.
Well, it ruined a couple of the theaters. Honestly,
it did. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they ended up having to get. Yeah, you can any way you want to do it, Artie. Please.
Is it the money that's behind it? They got kind of like a lot of money to fix things, or
it's the Turners, and they own a lot of stuff around. Like they own Union Grove and whatever the other one over here, Union Hall and stuff.
Well, they're about to build that. I don't know if you saw it in the paper or anything like that. Well, I don't want to read the paper, but the online stuff. The area where the Catholic Church and A.J. Moore is, that big empty space that's right there, where that little creek is, they're going to try to turn that into a shopping center with a recirculating river that comes from the Brazos, and it's going to recirculate into the Brazos, and it's going to be a San Antonio Riverwalk type thing. Yeah. But they're saying since it's now, San Antonio Riverwalk was developed, some 50, 60 years ago, whenever it was, it'll be better than San Antonio's because of the newer technologies and the, everything.
Okay, we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm interested to see how it goes, but they.
The first thing that's going in down there is that big arts. It's like cultural arts center that's being built down there.
Indian Springs Park area.
The thing is like it's like $100 million project.
Oh wow! Yeah, and, Waco's on the up
Fiona
and up, man.
Over at Creative Waco is running all that.
Yeah, it's on the up and up.
We did the
gonna be
sound and the music for the first fundraising event they had a few weeks ago. And boy, anybody who's everybody here in town was there. It was I did not realize it was that kind of event, but
it's a big thing. Well, I hope that all of this rejuvenation brings some cultural arts to cult. It's been, you've been here longer than I have, obviously, but it's been a culturally dead place. All through, the thing that I missed the most was Beatniks. I used to love going to Beatniks because it was like the only place that you could go to listen to like local stuff, and then Common Grounds too being one of them. Yep. And there just isn't enough of that. There's more now, obviously, but I hope that we continue to get more stuff like that. And they really need to utilize the Extraco Event Center. It would be cool to have like some actual, big artists come to Waco like they used to do back in the day. Elvis came to Waco even.
Well, if this
so
helps,
it's like
if this helps, Saturday night the Elvis impersonator was here over at the Hippodrome.
Yeah. I don't know if it helps.
I ended up going to two.
Might hurt actually.
I ended up going to 2 different Christmas parties on Saturday night, which, dear God, but. One of the times I had to walk a lady from a bar down here over to where she was parked because I don't like the streets down here at night.
Yeah, it's kind of
especially
up and down.
Because we were right over here at Marie's, which is next to Austin's on the Avenue, and Austin's is not the greatest crowd sometimes.
No,
right?
It's including, like 5 and all that. Yeah,
including
not the
security.
Crowd.
Security seems to be friends with everybody, so it was intimidating to anybody who walked by there. But anyway, so I walked her over to her car, and then. Coming back, what were we talking about? What was it? What were we just on? I lost the thread here.
Oh,
Oh, I saw. Anyway, I'm walking back from taking this lady to her car, and I meet the Elvis and the
Elvis guy.
Willie Nelson impersonators just walking around downtown.
Willie Nelson has people that impersonate him.
You got it.
I didn't.
They were both there for some big impersonation concert or
you
something
know,
at the Hippodrome. That's the big goings on.
Him and
at the
Elvis
Hippodrome
are about
these
the
days.
same age. If Elvis were still alive, him and Willie Nelson, I think, were born in a year apart or something like that. Because Willie Nelson turned 90 this year, and so did Elvis. So
yeah. Well, guys, we thank you very much for listening to us. We probably will never have an Elvis impersonator on the show.
Yeah,
but
probably
we'll
not.
take it.
You know, Elvis would have lasted longer if he would have smoked weed instead of doing pills.
Yeah, you need to talk to the doctor.
Because Elvis died obviously constipated from opioids.
Yeah.
And Willie Nelson is still alive, and he just likes to smoke a little.
Willie
reefer.
Nelson got to smoking weed because he was taking too many pills and drinking too much and all that stuff, so he got off of that.
Kicked
and
off
just
that, started
getting
smoking
high.
weed. So if you're on a lot of pills and a lot of alcohol, maybe smoke a joint
Go get
instead.
high. Yes. Yeah.
Some CBD
All right,
or
guys.
something.
Thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate you all being here, and
we do.
We'll see you again on Friday. One thing last.
Actually, you can find us at BWAAA. That's 3 A's, KOTH. That's on most social
3 A's, no
medias.
waiting.
You can find us on Scoops and TikTok and Instagram and X or Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Apparently, Elon Musk has a complex about people calling it Twitter. There was a leaked deal where he was asking somebody, "Do you call X Twitter, or do you call it X?" I think the majority of people call it Twitter still. But either way. BWAAA KOTH. You can find us on all social media. Scoops is another one if you want to check that out. And a big old Wimatan yay.
Wimatan yay indeed. We'll see you next time, guys. This has been a Rogue Media Network